back then. But go ahead.
What's been your experience as a convert, according to your former peers? Like, you were never truly an atheist, or atheists rarely convert unless it's for emotional or not intellectual reasons.
Like I said, the post about me dressing up as Jesus for fictional character day was the #1 post on Reddit when it happened. After not too long ago, I think maybe a year ago now, or I can't remember exactly when, but I'd made an AMA. I did an AMA on Reddit, Ask Me Anything, and I said, I'm the guy who dressed up like Jesus, and now I'm Catholic. And, I posted proof that it happened and that I was him, and it got like 800 or 900 comments. And it took up my whole day. I was responding to everything, and a lot of the comments that I got were basically, and it's funny because, like I said, there's a big similarity between fundamentalist Christians and atheists. Because if you're a fundamentalist Christian and you leave, what are the Christians going to say? What are the fundamentalists going to say? Well, he was never really saved. He was never really saved. He didn't actually believe in Jesus. He didn't really understand the Bible. And atheists are a lot of the same way. They'll say, well, you never really didn't believe in God, or like you never really understood the arguments against God. But what I found is funny is that a lot of them will make armchair psychological analyses of me. They'll be like, oh, well, you're just a guy who seeks radical beliefs. Or here's what I think is funny. A lot of times when I talk to people, I'll explain to them, I was raised and this is what I believed, and then, this was the progress of my belief system, and then this is where I'm at now. And they'll basically say, well, you just jump around from religion to religion. You won't stay in this one for long. You just like to believe the new thing that you find out about, and like it's a bad thing. But I say, so you're telling me that the bad thing to do is to adapt your belief system to new evidence and experiences and rational, thought. Like if you believe what you were raised to believe and you've never changed, doesn't that just mean that you were either extremely lucky and happened to be taught by your parents the exact truth about the universe, or you haven't changed your beliefs because you're too stubborn or too ignorant or lazy to do the research?
And this is what I love about it. They'll swear that atheists have higher IQs and religious people have lower IQs. Like, okay, and they'll say that they were a former Christian. I'm like, so you're low IQ as a religious person, so your IQ automatically went up when you became an atheist?
Yeah, it is pretty ridiculous, and there's definitely a huge element of pride to a lot of atheism. When you're a lot of times when you first become an atheist, or if you're in the particularly militantly atheist or new atheist perspective, there's the group of atheists who call themselves brights. They say we're the geniuses, and it feeds.
Although, funny enough, one of the members of the brights was actually a deist.
Mm-hmm. Because basically anything that's far enough removed from Christianity is considered good enough, because at least you're not total idiot. But there is definitely the kind of this
self-congratulatory zeal.
Yeah, self-congratulatory. We figured it out. We're the enlightened ones. Everybody else is idiots. View.
Deist invented that.
Oh yeah. or like it kind of reminds me of like when you're an anti-theist. That specifically a lot of times comes with the belief that religion has done more harm than good. But when you actually look at it, that's just not true. Like for example, like we were talking about, like obviously the Catholic Church, there's people in it who have done terrible things, but it's just a fact that the Catholic Church is the most charitable organization in the history of the human race. There's a reason why so many hospitals are named after saints, and some of the most prestigious universities in the world were originally founded as monasteries. Like if you step back and objectively look at the impact that religion, well, I wouldn't even say religion, I'll say Catholicism, because that's what I'm defending, but even broader than that, you could say Christianity, because obviously I wouldn't say Islam has done a lot of great stuff. But if you're looking at Catholicism and objectively analyzing history to see the differences that it's made, on the whole, it's significantly better. And there's this huge myth about like the Dark Ages when people didn't know things. The only reason we even know about what Aristotle or anybody back then said, or about Socrates, is because there was a bunch of Catholic monks who spent their lives praying
And Muslim monks.
and writing stuff down and keeping track of stuff. But what I would say is that when you say, like, you bring up Muslims, like, what I've noticed is that people will say that there was like this golden age of Islam.
Well, there kind of was, but
well, no, but here's what I think about it. From my understanding, the golden age of Islam happened right after they had kind of taken over a bunch of Christian territories, where there was still a bunch of really smart Catholic monks who were still doing what they were doing and transmitting and copying and keeping records of stuff, and were still being involved. And it wasn't until they either killed all of them, or all the Catholics left, or they converted them all forcibly to Islam, that the golden age ended. I wonder why that is, when there was no more Christians anymore.